Hi Year 10. This is one of our last videos to show you how to uh, assemble your dragon and to see it animated. So I'm just going to show you what it'll end up looking like, obviously like this, but it will also look like this. Okay, now you might see on my design I've modified a few things to make it work. So basically this hook was meant to just be a straight rod that went through the dragon's head. I didn't like that, so I basically duplicated this part and made it shorter, and I tried that and it seemed to work. It did mean that I had to redesign my dragon head to have a part that it actually revolved around or inside. Okay, but that was easy enough. Okay, so let me show you how to do this. So I'm going to keep this one here. I'm just going to create a new assembly. So new tab, create assembly. So now I've got assembly 2 where I can show you how I built it. So just looks blank, that's fine. You need to go up into insert and this will list all of your parts. Okay, so we're just going to get everything for our base enclosure. This one, I'll just zoom out. We need our sides. Oh, there's the top. And we want our 2 sides. So there's one. And we can bring in another one for over here. Okay, great. Done. And there's a few different mates we're going to be using. So mostly the fastened, the revolve, and we may use a slider. I'm not sure if I changed that. And eventually a ball mate as well. Okay, so most common one's going to be this fastened mate. We're going to click that one. And you're basically saying, I want to fasten this point to this point. Gives you a preview. If you're happy with it, just click the tick. Same here. We're going to go fasten mate from this point to this point. If we're happy with the preview, click there. Fasten mate again from this point to this point. Happy with that. Done. That's the base enclosure. 90% fastened. All we have to do now is actually attach it to somewhere on the page. So I'm now going to fasten the center of the base to the origin. See how it spun? Because you'll notice my mouse, when I move it, it'll come up with the orientations differently. Like if I go over here, it might switch around. So you just got to make sure you're keeping it in the same orientation each time. So I'm just going to click close. Trimetric. Okay, let's go again. So fasten mate, that one there to that one there. Seems good. It just moves that one bit in the preview, but once you click the tick, it should move everything because they were all fastened before. Okay. Cool. Let's go and have a look at the rest of the instructions. Okay, so that's what we've done. All connected. That's what it's looking like at the moment. So we're ready to assemble the crankshaft. Okay, E10. So the assembly of the crankshaft. So this is what it's going to look like after it's assembled. And it's got a couple of different fastening methods. Okay. This is super important. It tells you which part's which. So these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they relate to this table that was all the way back up here. Let me just scroll very quickly. I should be able to see it. Connector rods. Back up the top. Almost there, hopefully. Yep. Okay, it's just above here. Okay, so that's these parts here. Parts 1 through to 9, what they're called, and their length and diameter. So it might be worthwhile taking a photo of that or having a screenshot so you don't have to keep scrolling backwards and forwards. So I'll do that just now. Okay, done. And right back down to where we were. And what else is important on here is summed distances, okay? So I'll refer to this throughout the video because we have to be able to move things like certain distances away from parts and things like that, okay? So the first subassembly, I didn't bother doing it as a subassembly, I just did it in the same one and then moved it. So we start with the central and outer crankshaft connectors and the lower shafts. So looking at my picture, the lower shafts are number 4 and they are the 59 part 4 59 by 6 and there's 2 of them in it. Okay, the far end is mated flush and the end is shown the end shown is offset 1 millimeter. So basically the bottom circle of the grey bit was fastened mated to the end of this one, and then the box pops up, and before you hit the green tick you can tell it to offset a certain distance in a certain direction. Okay, so let's try and do that. So I'll just do a quick hand sketch here. So it's the 3 holes, the 2 holes, and the rod through the bottom. That was number 4, called the lower shaft. Okay, let's go. So insert that one, one with the 2 holes, that one, and the lower shaft. And hopefully you followed all the same naming conventions in the instructions. There we go. Okay. So to the end of this one, to the end of this one, and this one's got the offset. Alrighty. Done with that. Fastened mate. That one, I'm going to spin my screen slightly. Well, a lot really. So that one, yep, happy with that. Back to trimetric. There we go. Okay, same thing again. Fastened mate. This one's going to the end of that one in the same orientation. Done. Now we can select offset. We pick a direction, and the way you can tell, if I just move this out of the way, it tells you here to move it out this way is on the Z axis, to move it out this way is on the X, and up and down on the Y. So it's going to be the Z, and basically from the origin here going outwards is always going to be a positive number, and if you're moving it the other way, it's going to be a negative. So let's go Z, -1. Enter. Yep, looked good. If you're not quite sure, you can hit the front view, zoom in on it, and you'll see it's been offset the right way. Okay, tick. Trimetric. Okay, there's that step done. Let's keep moving along. Okay, so we basically have to have 2 of those. So I think it's just as quick to just do it again. So I'm going to do it that way. Insert, one with the 3 holes, that way, 2 holes that way. Part number 4 was the lower shaft. There we go, done. And we'll do the fastened mate. So that one to, oops, there, done. Whoa. Whoop. Start again. There we go, I can see it there now. Fasten mate, that one there, to that one there. And we want to do our offset, and it should be on the Z still, going back towards the origin, so it should still be a -1. Nope, I think it should have been a +1. Alright, let me just flip to the front and check. Of course, I can't quite see. Yeah, it's out the right way now. Okay, cool. Okay. Back to the instructions. So now we've got both of those sets. And we want to put a few more things in here now. Okay. It says then add the other components such as the upper main shaft. I'll just list that down. Upper main shaft, and according to that table we looked at before, that's part number 1. It's 24 millimeters, 6 meter diameter. The left and right center shaft, left and right center shaft. Now the left is part number 2, and it's 77 millimeters, 6 millimeter diameter. And the right center shaft was part 3, and he's 98 millimeters by 6. So make sure you don't just insert the same thing twice, because they are different sizes. The spacer rings, and then the cranking shaft and handle. Okay, now it says note that when attaching and mating the upper main shaft, it has a 1 millimeter offset on both ends. Okay, so that's this bit here. Sticks out 1 millimeter there, sticks out 1 millimeter here. This may be either a positive or negative number, depending on which component you select first. This extension serves no other purpose other than to visually match the other one. Okay. Once the cranking shaft and handle have been added to the crankshaft, the whole assembly can then be added along with the base enclosure. So everything must be fastened, mate. Yet. Okay, so let's do everything there as a fastened mate. Okay. So I'm going to put the upper main shaft in first with that 1 millimeter offset. Insert. Upper main shaft. I'm going to put that in straight away. So I'm going to go from this face here to this one here. And then I'm going to tell it to offset straight away, and it's going to go on the Z. Should be a 1, just a positive 1. Check the preview. Yep, happy with that. Done. Okay. So I'm just going to spin my drawing around. I always go the wrong way. There we go. Fasten mate. This one to this one. And it's set again, offset, and it's away from the origin, so it should be a positive 1. Yep, tick. Okay, trimetric. That part there's done. Okay, let's now have a look at the left center shaft, which will be this one, and it's fastened flush there. Okay. Fastened mate. That one there to that one there. Done. And now we'll do the right center shaft. And it's the exact opposite, so it sits flush with this edge here. I'm just going to spin my drawing. Oh, did it again. I'll never learn. Okay. Tick. Fasten mate. This one here. Whoop. Yep, to that one there. Done. Back to trimetric. Done. The next thing we've got to put in is our spacer rings. And let's have a look at the picture. So we've got one there and one there. Let's have a look at our orthogonal drawing, the front view. It sits on the end of this, the left center shaft, and it's got a 1 mil offset here. Okay, just trust me, that's 1 millimeters. 1 millimeter. Insert. You need your spacer. I'll just bring in another one again for here. Tick. Ah, got it. Okay. Fasten mate. We're going to go with that one there, the center of it, to that one there. And we're going to do our offset. And it's on the Z back towards 0, so it's got to be a negative. Yep. Tick. Okay, that's that one in place. Trimetric. Let's go and have a look where this one's going to sit. So that's this one here, and it is 12 mil from there. So what we'll do is fasten mate it to here, and then we're going to offset it 12 mils that way. Of course not. Fasten mate. That one there. It's very touchy. That one there. We want to do our offset, and it's the Z again, and it's going to be the -12 this time. Okay, tick. Trimetric. There we go. Okay. Next instruction. was to put our cranking handle, cranking shaft and handle. Okay. So this will be the cranking shaft here. So it's 15 millimeters from this face of the spacer. So we will fasten it here and then offset it 15 this way. And it should then appear as though it's got a 1 mil offset here. Okay, let's go and do that one. Insert. Crank handle connector, that's what they've called it. Okay. That one there. Done. Okay. Fastened mate. This one. Oops, I just had it to that one. We'll do our offset. And it will be Z again. And that one there is a minus 15. Enter. We'll just check. I'll just drag this out of the way. Yep. Tick. Okay. Now we've got one more part to put in, which is the handle. So insert, handle. Here, I'm guessing it's going to have, let's just check. Let's not guess. Yep, it sticks out 1 millimeter here. Okay. Tick. Fasten mate. This one to here. We're going to do our offset on the Z. And it's away from the origin, so it's a positive number. Done. Tick. And there it is. So the last thing to do should be to actually put this into the base assembly, the base enclosure. The whole assembly can then be added along with the base enclosure assembly to yet another assembly. This is the final one of the base section automation. The reason for doing this is that each part and sub-assembly, which we didn't do all of that, but it doesn't matter, are editable separately and minor changes can be made to them more easily, which will then automatically update the final larger assembly. If we just keep drawing and adding in one file, making changes later on will be much more difficult. Trust me, it works. Okay, so that's where we are at the moment. And it's now talking about using a different fastening mate. This one is called the Revolute mate. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And it says start by selecting the end of the right central shaft. Okay, so right here. And this one here. And it then needs to be offset by 28 millimeters. Okay, let's give that a go. Yep, just double checking. So, Revolute, from that one there to that one there, offset, it's on the Z, and 28 millimeters. Okay, tick, and then it should bring the whole thing in. Pretty. Switching back. That's what we've just done. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it's been ticked off and the base is complete. You can test this by clicking on the crank handle and using the grab handle of the controls and appear to rotate it. Okay, let's have a look. It says, although it will work, the base enclosure will also move. Let's see. So when you click on that, this is your, I think it's called the triad manipulator. So the arrows will drag things up, out that way, out that way. These ones here will rotate. So that one's going to rotate it around that way. This one here will rotate the handle this way. So that's the one we want to grab. And our base stayed in place. Why? Because we fastened mated it to the origin in the first step. I didn't make you wait until now. Okay, so that's working quite nicely. If you want to see it just from a slightly different angle, whoops, there we go. Oopsies. Just get that rod back to the top. Okay. Cool. I just did Control Z to get it back to where it was in the beginning. Okay. Cool. Let's see what's coming up next. So we've already done the fix. Okay. I'll just pause here. The next thing we're going to be doing is the follower, the rod, and the guide blocks. Okay, it's a little tricky, but we'll work through it together. Okay. Okay. So the follower, rod, and guide blocks. So basically we need to start putting this part together in a very particular order. So first we're going to put the two guide blocks, these two bits, together with the pivot, and they're going to have a revolute mate on each end. So let's go and do that. It's going to give myself a bit more room this time. Insert. Guide block pivot rod. And if you'll see, I've got my hole going this way. It needs to be the other way. We'll change that in a second. And our guide blocks. One there. One over there. Done. So this one, I'm going to click on it and I'm going to use the triad manipulator. And I'm going to spin him 90 degrees. There we go. Done. Cool. The revolute mate. We get the center of this one. The center of that one. Preview's good. Turn him around. And revolute. Center of that one. To the center of that one. Tick. Done. Trimetric. There's step one done. Okay. Back to our instructions. And the next part is going to talk to us about needing a parallel mate. So this is one I haven't mentioned before. This is what it looks like. Okay. It says once the guide blocks and pivot have been assembled with the revolute mates on each end of the pivot, we next need to perform a parallel mate so that they cannot rotate independently of one another. This is done by selecting the middle of the two surfaces as shown below. So the middle of this rectangle, okay, that one, and the middle of this one. So let's spin the drawing. Parallel, middle of that one, middle of that one. Tick. Okay, next. Okay, the next step is for the body control rod to be attached with a fastened mate into the hole on the follower. And then the rod needs to go through the pivot in the guide block assembly and be attached with a slider mate to allow it to move up and down. Okay. So, fixed into that bit at the bottom and a slider into the up and down hole of that pivot rod there. So let's first fix it into here. Now I'm just going to make life easier for me here. So I'm going to go up here in my list. I think if I click on there, there we go, it's that part there. I'm just going to hide that for now. So part 2. We haven't put that part on yet. Okay, we can see the crankshaft follower and the body control rod have been fastened mate to one another. And the follower has been revolute mated to the upper main shaft of the crankshaft. So we've got the crankshaft follower, this bit here, has a revolute to this rod running through here. And then the rod is fastened. Okay, let's go grab that and put it in. There it is, the main crankshaft follower. Done. Tick. Let's put that in first. So it set a revolute for here. From there to there. Tick. And now we want to put the body control rod fixed into this one. Body control rod. There it is, body connector rod. Okay. Fastened from here into this one. Now, you'll see on the screen there that I'm on the top of the circle. That's where my origin and cursor is. But underneath you'll see those two little, I guess, miniature origins. They almost look like little white dots. Depending on your device, you either have to hold Shift or Command, and it will kind of lock those options in. So I'm going to hold Shift on mine, and I can slide down while I've got Shift selected. And I can just click there while I've got Shift selected, and it goes to that point. If it's not Shift on yours, it's probably Command or Control. Okay? And I like the preview, so I'm going to click Tick. Okay, so that one's in there. I think at this point here, I can turn that body, well, that part 2 back on, because that would have been a little bit trickier with that still there. Trimetric. And this is where we now need to do our slider. So let's read the instructions very, very carefully. Okay, so the first step is to select the slider mate from the toolbar, and then the middle connection point of the rod, and then finally the middle connection point of the hole going through the pivot as highlighted. Okay, so select the tool, select the middle of the rod, and then select the middle of the hole. Let's go do that. So slider, this one here, the middle of this rod. There it is there, it snaps to it. And we want the middle of that hole. So just kind of move around. Whoop, there it was. Hold Shift for me. Click. Okay, there's my preview. Looks right. Click tick. Cool. Now I'm just going to spin, ready for the next step. Let's have a read. That's done. Done. Okay. And then we will need to create a fastened mate between each of the guide blocks and the surface of the top of the base enclosure. So fasten mate, first select the middle node of the edge of the underside of the guide block. So right there, the middle one of that edge. Then select the middle node of the edge of the opening on the surface of the top of the base enclosure is done. Okay, so that slot there, that point there, the middle of that edge. Okay, let's go and do that. Okay, fasten mate. Whoop, keep that flat. So that one's flat there, not that. There, click. I'll spin my drawing. I'm just going to do that again. Fasten. Let's try and keep that flat. Must have slipped before. That's better. Keep it flat, not upright. There we go. That's better. And green tick. Done. Back to the instructions. So we can test it to make sure that happens. Let's give it a go. Make sure we're still on track. So that one there. Yep, looks good to me. Alright, back to 0 or 360. Done. Now we're looking at assembling the dragon. Okay, just remember I made some modifications here to have basically like a little connector rod attached to the head here, very similar to what they did in the tail. Very, very similar. So it says the easiest way to start with the main parts of the body of the dragon, working from the head to the tail. So the head, the neck, the body, the tail. Then we can do the wings afterwards. So let's bring in all those parts. Okay, let's just do that first and come back. So I'll give myself some room first. Insert. There's the body, neck, the head, and the tail. Done. Okay. Create revolute mates between each of the parts and their associated 3mm body axle pivots. Okay. The axle needs to be fastened, mated to the wider part in each instance. So it'll be fastened here, then this is the wider part, it'll be fastened there. This is the wider part, it'll be fastened there. The bits that slide into that will have a revolute there, and a revolute there. Now, I believe I changed this in my first assembly, but we'll see how we go. It's very easy to change them later on if we need to. So let's go and get our 3mm body axle pivots. They're in 2 sizes, so let's go grab them. Body axle, the 16mm wide one. I think we need 2 of those. And the body axle 10. I'll just put 2 in just in case. Okay, tick. Let's zoom in. So I'm just going to switch to the top view. Okay, so I've got a feeling the width of the dragon head was 10, so that one of the 10 rods will go in there. That'll be the 16s, and that should be it. So I've probably put in 1 too many. Okay, trimetric. We said fastened mate from here to here. Done. Fastened mate from here to here. Done. And fastened mate from here to here. Done. Okay. Everything else should be a revolute. I'm just going to click on that and delete it on my keyboard. Let's give this a go. So a revolute. Now going to do this from the center of each one. Okay. So if you can't land on it, remember hold shift and click. So the center of that one should go on the center of this one. Looks good. Tick. Revolute again. The center of this one. Whoop. When he pops up. Gotta hold shift and then click on that one. Yeah, that looks good. Tick. And revolute again. Don't know what's happened to my screen. Center of that one. There we go. To the center of this one. Might just have to spin. Yep, that looks good. Tick. Oh, nope, something went awry there. Let me just go Control Z. Must have been the direction of my origin. Let's try again. Might just spin it to start with. I'll just go from there. Okay. Revolute. Shift. Click. Not quite happy yet. There it was. There it is. Click. That's better. Tick. Trimetric. Okay, there's our dragon together. From the right view, there he is. Okay. So I kind of drew this little extra bit on just by going back into my dragon components, into the head, into the sketch, drawing on the center, or the sketch 1, and doing the symmetrical offset to create that little rod. In hindsight, I probably could have put a little angle on it, like this one, but it still works. So let's go and have a look what's next. Okay, so that's what we did, fastened and then a revolute. Shouldn't have to worry about this. When we go back and customize our dragon, we'll draw onto the body parts, not as separate things off in space anywhere. We'll draw straight onto them. But if you do, we can always read this section and see what to do. So we don't need this. The next step, ooh, they've got the wings on there. Okay. Here you go. You can add the wings by using the body central pivot and the center pivot axles. The central pivot is a revolute mate to the body. It's not. Okay. If you've read through the instructions already, and at a certain point when you do your animation and the wings start flipping in all different directions, it's because it's allowed this to spin. So we're actually going to fix this one to the center of the body, and these rods can be a revolute. Okay, so let's go in and do that. Now let's just check what everything's called. Body central pivot and the center pivot axles. Okay. Oh boy. Nope. Assembly 2, please. Okay. Insert. Must be back up the top. Nope. Okay. Ah, these two. Okay. That one there. And you need body to wing connector axle. So they've named them 2 different things in the document. Okay. I might build this here as it is. Tick. So we're going to do the revolute first. From the center of here to the center of this one. Shift. Click. Yep. And again, the revolute. Click. Oops. Shift. Click. Done. Okay. Now we're going to fasten the middle of this one, that was lucky, to the middle of this one. Shift, click. Yep, looks good. Done. Okay, time to put the wings on, I think. Let's go and have a look. Okay, the wings are a fastened mate to the ends of the axles. Fastened. Let's grab the wings. Now, I'm not sure if I showed you this in an earlier video, but I actually made myself a right wing and a left wing. It was very simple. I just went back into my Dragon components. I may as well just show you now. I went into my the wing that I drew originally, and I right-clicked on the tab and I just went duplicate. It opened in a new tab and I renamed it Automation Wing Left. I created myself a new plane, and the wing was here, and I basically did a mirror. Okay, I mirrored it on my new plane. It gave me the new wing, which was the left wing. I then clicked on the wing over here and I deleted it. Okay, I found that was the quickest, easiest way of getting a wing facing the other way that didn't end up upside down from doing a rotation through that triad manipulator. Okay, so that's how I did it. So back in assembly 2 now, I'll bring in my wings. So insert my right wing, done, left wing, done, tick, and it said it was a fastened one. Now you might think, but it spins on it, but it doesn't. The whole axle spins with that fixed to it. So revolute, my bad, close, fix, or fastened, sorry, that one to that one, done. And fastened, whoops, that one to that one, done. Zoom out. Okay, he's looking pretty good. Let's see what's next. So the next step is to add the dragon to the base enclosure and body control rod assembly. This is done with a simple fastened mate from the end of the control rod to the bottom of the hole in the underneath side of the dragon. Okay. So seems simple. Fasten. Whoa. Just going to spin my screen slightly because I can't quite tell. There we go. What circle I was on. There I go. Got the bottom one. No, I didn't. I've clicked on two things somewhere. Fasten. That one. To that one. Yep. Green tick, and it brings everything over. Okay, next. Okay. Alrighty, so this is where I made a few changes to make it work, so I'll show you what I did. So let's bring in these parts here. So let's just reread what they call them. The head and tail control rods. Okay. Between the pivot holder pivots. And the base enclosure are fastened made for the head control rod, tail control rod. Okay. I'll just do a quick sketch of what it's going to look like. So here's the square one, and I did actually find an error they've made in the original drawing, so I'll show that to you so that you can go in and fix the original sketch or it won't work. Okay, so back in here, actually, I'll show you in the text first. Might just zoom straight back up the top. Oh, it's this bit. That was good landing. Or maybe not. Maybe it was down here. Might be in the connector rods. Probably is. That makes sense. Or maybe not. Okay. It's this bit here. Right. So, in our drawing, here it says it's 5mm wide when you're looking at it from the front view. From the top, it's telling you it's 5mm deep. But that fits in that slot that's in the top of the base enclosure. And if we have a look at the original drawings for this, hopefully it's down here lower. Da, da, da. There it is. That slot is only 4mm wide. Yep. So, where's my scroll bar gone? There it is. Meow. All the way back down here. Not that far. For this bit here, we're going to go back into the original sketch and change the offset to 4, not 5. So, it's not that one, not that one, not that one. Let's hope it's in here. Pivot. Pivot holder. Okay, now I've already changed mine, so just bear that in mind. Okay, so it's this little guy here. So over here in your extrude one, if you double click it, you also say 5 there, just change it to 4 and click the green arrow to update it. That's all you got to do. Then when you're in your assembly, it'll update and fix automatically. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go find him. There he is, a new one. Now we need the pivot axle. This is my new wire rod as well. So all I did, I went into my connectors folder, connector rods. I went into this drawing and I duplicated it. And then I just shortened the extrusion, like I did a new extrusion from the base of it. and I did a removal of about 10 or 15 millimeters and just made it shorter. So I'm going to grab that one. That's what I'm using for my dragon head. And I need the little pivot. I don't think it's that one. Maybe it is. Must be. Okay. Cool. So I believe there were some errors in the instructions for this as well. So basically what we're going to be doing is fastening this rod to this hole here. We will have a revolute from the halfway point of here to the halfway point of here, because this needs to spin on this. And that one will be fastened into the top of there. So I'm going to build everything here first. So I'm going to do a revolute first here. So halfway of this one. Whoops. It's very touchy. Come on, pop up. Shift, got that one. To the halfway one there. Done. I'm then going to fasten that one into the bottom of this one. Shift, got him. Looks good. And now I can fix this one into the top of the enclosure. So fasten him, sorry, that one. Whoa, other way. Into that one there. Preview looks good, tick. And if I go to my front view and my top view, whoops, show a bit better. You can see now that that actually fits in the slot, it doesn't ever hang. There you go, that's the best view. Sits within that slot. Okay. So now I'm going to put the back one in using a very similar method, and then I'll connect it to the tail and the head. So insert, the pivot holder, and the longer one of the wire rod, my original. Done. Let's put this together first. So revolute between here and here. Shift, click that one, done. We're going to fix that one in, so fasten that one. Into the bottom of this hole, shift, grab that one, done. And now we're going to fix that one, fasten, sorry, keep saying fix, to there. Preview looks very short, but we'll click and see what happens. What happened? Nothing. Okay, whoops. Something went wrong. Fasten. That one. Yeah, that whole bit. To there. That's better. Done. Okay. So now we're going to attach that into there. Now I'm just going to jump into my first assembly and I'm going to check what I did there. Okay. I believe I can right click and show mates. So that's a revolute there. Okay. Assembly 2. So I'm going to do a revolute there. Revolute. So halfway. That one. Just going to spin that slightly. To be able to get halfway along that hole there. Looks good. Tick. Let's see what happened. Cross your fingers. There we go. So it's pulled the head down there and changed the angle of the neck and things. If I turn to the right, I think I know what's changed here. That's okay, I can fix that very soon. Trimetric. So I'm going to do a revolute on the back as well. So halfway between this one, so there. And I'll just spin to see that one there. So, hold shift, grab the middle of that one. Done. Right view. Yeah, it's pulled my dragon very low here and here. But I think in my original one, yeah, see that actually doesn't work doing the bottom circle there. So I might just go show mates. Yep. Right click. And I think if I look at it in the list over here, so 17, or could be 25 as well. Okay. 25 looks like. Okay. Edit. So if I can spin it slightly, and get that one. And then I'm going to make sure if I can hide that rod. There we go. I want to put that higher up in the body. What's happened there? Just close for a second. Okay, just going to do that again. So basically want that to go all the way up there. Okay, so I'm basically starting again for that one. Okay, so I'm going to take that one and put him, this is going to be tricky to actually get to. The way. Don't want the wing on my, here we go. Oh, there it was, shift, put him up the top. Tick. Okay. Trimetric. Side view. That looks better. Okay. Right. Now we might just run an animation. There we go. So everything's moving nicely. It's just a bit laggy. That's good to me. Looks good. Back to 0. I think the last thing we need to do is now connect the wings. Okay, so a quick look at the instructions. Here we go. The upper and lower ones are first. Okay, so we're going to bring this part in, and it's going to be fastened to the top here. It's going to look like that. And it's important that the hook goes that way. So the open part of the hook is closest to the body, if that makes sense. So insert, here he is. 1, 2, cool, done. So that one will be good for the one on the left. And this one, click on him, we'll use the triad just to turn him around. Oh, 180. Good. Done. And we can move him into place. So, going to get a fastened mate. We want the center of that one, done. And that's going to go to the center of that circle there. The open bits towards the dragon body. Zoom back out, and we'll go and do the same for this one. Fastened mate. That one there. That one there. The open bits towards the dragon body. Tick. Okay. Trimetric. Okay, they're both in there. Next bit. Yes, we've done that. Okay. The connection is between the lower rod and the body control rod. I can't read, sorry. The body control rod guide. Bush pivot. This also needs to be a fastened mate. connection and should be oriented so that it is in line with the upper rod. Okay, so he's going that way, open end there. So we're going to have to do some spinning. Insert. There he is, the lower connection rod. I think it was the open end down. Just jump back and check quickly. Yep, open end down. And I'll grab another one while I'm at it. Done. Okay, so this one, we're just going to spin him this way. 180. Done. This one, we're going to spin this way. 180. Done. And then we're going to spin him this way. 180. Done. Okay, let's go and see from where to where. Not overly descriptive. I'm going to assume it's the end of this rod into the end of that hole. Seems to make sense to me. Fastened from, just like to be able to see it properly. That's better from there. It's better. There it is, hold shift, and we'll grab the end one. Yep, that looks good. Done. Do the same for the other side. So fastened from there. Hold shift, grab that end one. Done. Trimetric. We're almost finished. The last thing is to put in the double-ended rod between those hooks there and the one up under the wing. Insert. Double-ended rod. Here. Okay, and we need to rotate that approximately 45 degrees. Tick. This way. Done. And I'll get the next one. Actually, I'm just going to close that off. It might matter which way they face. So that's opened on top, the bottom. Yeah, that looks opened on top as well. Okay. Should be okay. Uh-oh. It's all good. Okay. Insert the next one. Done. And we want to rotate that one as well, but this way. So it's going to be for the other wing, 45 degrees. That's a guesstimate. It really doesn't matter. I think it said 45 to 55 in the book. Done. Okay. So now we're going to use a ball mate. Okay. So we're going to connect from the center of this circle here ball mate. So this original circle in the center. Click. And now going to go underneath the wing and the center of that one. Done. I don't know why it went back straight. Just taking the wing. Control Z. Control Z. Control Z. I might do it from the bottom this time. So the ball bearing, the ball mate. There. Down to this one. There. Done. Went straight there as well. It's weird. Don't think it did that the first go, but at least we can access this one now. And we're going to do a ball mate. There. Let's go front view. To there. Tick. Okay, and that should have pulled that down so that that reaches. Same on the other side, so we'll start with the bottom because that seemed to work best. So the ball mate, center of that one, front on, to the center of that one. Yeah, it'll let us still get to that one, I think. Tick. And a ball mate from that one to, yep, center of that one. Done. Okay, there he is from front on. There he is from the right. Let's go to trimetric. And let's cross our fingers. Something else is showing here. What's going on? Let's hide that. Hide that. Okay, that looks better. Still all there, just hidden. Okay. Spin this one. here we go, it's just lagging. Okay, and you'll notice everything's staying where it's supposed to be. So the wings aren't doing any weird flippy things. It's just a bit glitchy, but there isn't actually a better way to do this. Underneath all your mate features, your first revolute one, here he is. If you right click there and go animate, 360 degrees, and we'll do about 50 steps in that on a loop, and hit play. There we go, a lot smoother. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? So that's taken quite a while for us to do, but that's fine. It's a new drawing software, lots of new skills in it. The next thing we've got to do with this task is to go in and modify our body parts. So we'll head back to just hand sketching, changing the head, the wings, the tails, the neck, whatever our notification said. Now, make life easier for yourself. You wouldn't want to change anything around your connection points. Don't change anything around here either. But outside of that, you could. So you could add things off the front like it was in the book. You could add different, like a different shape to it. You can add your teeth. You could add some eyeballs. You could add some spikes, whatever it is. You might want to do the hooks like I did. I'm actually thinking, because I want to actually build this, that having that downwards hook isn't a good idea, so I might just go back to the original drawing and just leave it as straight across. Otherwise I would never be able to thread it through that, or I could just narrow that part underneath the dragon's head that it goes through so that it would bend around that corner. And I might change the dimensions of the box, because I'm thinking we'll laser cut the box from 3mm ply, so I might go into my drawing and make those all 3mm thick and redo things, just to speed up the process when we're actually making it. Okay, so I hope yours has turned out. If not, ask some questions for help in class or rewatch the videos.